I feel like I need to make another video right now because there's a lot of things going through my head after today. Where to begin? I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings here. I'm trying to be vulnerable. I don't think it's about me and my family. I think it's about you and your family. And I think it's about us and our families. Because I know people are going through stuff out there, heinous stuff, family and otherwise. That's why I'm trying to be vulnerable. Just tell my little thing. And try to get some healing done. So, how can I tell this story? Let's just say this. My mom has lived in Oregon for over 25 years. And this year, she announced that they were selling the house in Oregon and moving. All us kids did not like that idea at all because we've been going up there with our families every year. And it's become a very special place to us, a very important place. She lives right on the Rogue River, so we get to get in that water every summer and float and raft and fish. We get to ride horses up there. We get to hike. We love Grants Pass. My girls and I in particular have pioneered a bunch of the lower sections of the Rogue River. And it's just become a home away from home. So when my mom announced that they'd been there long enough and they wanted to live by a beach now, ultimately, I had to agree with them and think it was a good idea. Because for my mom, I'm just like, how did she find that place? How did she turn her life into that and do this amazing thing and introduce us to this amazing part of the world and give us something so special? So I had to agree with her vision and what she was going to do next. Is that Grandpa wanted to jog on the beach and they wanted to live on the beach, and I know that's what she's wanted, so I had to support her. And actually my girls and I went up there this summer for the first time with them not living there because we'd been preparing for this for years. Could we come up here if they weren't there and we didn't have their house to stay at? And we had an amazing time because we went out and explored and pioneered and had a couple rough little edges there, but figured it out and realized we could still do what we want to do. But let's take it another level deeper. When my mom announced that she decided they were going to buy a house and move within about 30 minutes of where I live, I went through some stuff. I'm going to try to describe it simply. I was a senior in high school when my mom left. And by left, I mean divorced our dad. Which also, it was a very dark time in our family. You know, I think I was a senior in high school, so about 17. Which means my brother was about 10. And I'm pretty sure my mom moved out and my dad kind of spun out of control and our whole family was just kind of wobbling there on one wheel for a little while. And I just thought it ironic that now she was coming back when I had a daughter who was starting high school as a senior. Now, one thing that I've learned or that I know through all my years of fathering and the greatest joy of being a parent and everything I've learned and listened to, and I'll say right now that I still almost every day now listen to parenting programs, and I still almost every day listen to marriage programs on K-Wave Christian radio. You know, if there's some psychological impact to the fact that the same thing would happen to my marriage all these years later, and that my girl's mom would divorce me and spin our family out the way it did. Ultimately, that's when I came to Christ for real. That's when the rubber met the road and Jesus revealed himself to me, and I started reading the Bible, and I started this journey I'm on now. But I struggled with the fact that my mom decided to move right by me and basically announced that we're going to start seeing each other all the time. Now, one thing about my mom is she is, well, let's just say people in that part of Oregon, they like to keep to themselves. And if I haven't made it clear, I'm a kind of guy who also likes to keep to himself. So I kind of spun out. And honestly, all those feelings from back when her family broke up, they kind of came back up. Woo! That's a nice car. Loud engine. All those feelings came back up. Like when my mom lived 1,000 miles away for 25 years, I could handle that. Basically saw her about a week a year. No issue. None of the old stuff came up. But when she decided to re-enter the picture and move back to Southern California, I'm just trying to say that stuff came up, and I struggled with it, and I wrestled with it, and I battled with it. This was last February. I don't know if I got COVID or the flu, but I got really sick. The sickness lasted about a week, and I laid in bed for a couple more weeks. That's basically when I started, I want to say putting on weight, but, you know, I'm not being fair, and I'm not talking about all the cheesy bagels I ate. But here's something, here's the crux of the story. My brother came up and said, he knew I was struggling. He said, can God do something good with this? Can God make a good out of our mom moving back into town? He said, absolutely. Yes, she can. So we kind of went through the process, helped her move down, and, you know, finally we got to go over there and see them in their new place down in Oceanside. It's about 45 minutes away. And it was so great to see them. God, I love them so much. It was awesome. You know, just like all my family, we're all very, very close. Yet, when we're apart, we're all left alone with our own minds. And I don't know if it happens to them, but it sure does happen to me. Because I'm a grouchy old man. I'm gnarly. I'm so bad. You should see me all day driving, muttering curses, and I'm just a crusty old so-and-so. I'm ashamed. It's ridiculous. Not in the good way. So, when I saw my mom that day, and I may have mentioned this before, she had all these 1s and 5s, and she said it was from their garage sale, and she wanted to give it to me. I said, no, Mom. I don't need any money. And she kept trying. I said, you know, the last thing I'm going to do is take your money. Then she's like, here, you know. And I said, well, you know what? I've been wanting to be able to give out more money to the homeless. And anytime someone gives me a cash tip, I put it in my ashtray. And I look for a homeless person to give it to. But sometimes I go a while without that. So it'd be exciting if I had some money to give out. It'd change everything. It's like being activated like that. So she's like, okay, and she gave it to me. And that's when I started going out and giving out the money. And I'll tell you one thing, and I told my mom this. We've created a ministry here because I'm spending my days spreading smiles around the Southland. And I'm talking to these homeless people, and we're blessing each other. And I'm flat out telling them, you're an angel, not me. They're blessing me. So then when I got home one of those nights, I said, did God make something good out of my mom moving down here? I said, well, the first time I saw her living here, we created a ministry together. And I think I've talked about that, how, I've had my boots on the ground for years, but I haven't always had the funds because I live at a subsistence level, which for me, I believe there's a lot of peace and joy at that level. Of course, it requires a lot of faith, and it puts you in a very vulnerable position. But if you got your hands, if you got your heart in God's hands, then sit back and relax. Anyway, the first day I saw her when she lived down here, we started a ministry together. So when I think of what happened today, how, I had that money that she just gave me, because she gave me a second round. My daughter and all my nieces and everybody met her for lunch last week, and I couldn't because I was doing a ride out to Palm Springs, which was good because I made $130 on that ride, and that helped pay some bills. But she gave my daughter more ones and fives. And that's what activated me today. And if you watch those videos, you saw how excited I was. Like, I got to find a homeless. I'm looking all around. I got to give this to someone. And then God just kind of helped me see that tiny tent in the bushes across the street. And I was like, yes, that could be it. And that was just so beautiful. I'm going back there, by the way. I'm going back there for sure. I'm going to be like, can I come in? And I'm going to bring some flowers because I'm pretty sure I saw a lady in there. I'm going to bring some food and some money. I'm going to hang out with those people. Man, why? So I could get blessed. I just want to give thanks where thanks is due. My mom started this ministry. If anybody else wants to get involved, and if anybody else wants to, I guess, contribute, donate, I don't know how you want to call it. I took a picture of that guy and sent it to my mom. Like, by the way, this guy says thank you. You really blessed him and his family today. Shoot, that was only $5. Man, I got to go back and give them a few bucks more. If anybody else wants to get involved, you can send me a message through this channel. And I'll be totally honest. If you send me $20 and I feel like I need it, I'm not going to be frivolous because I'm used to living on almost nothing. I fast, I cleanse. I can go a long time without food. I can go a long time without coffee. I'm fat just because the devil. And by the devil, I mean Trader Joe's. If you send money, what I can do is send you pictures of the people whose lives you're going to touch. But I'm also letting you know straight up front, and you should probably already know this. If I feel like I need it, I might spend a couple bucks on a coffee and a bagel someday. And if this ministry, all of a sudden God blows it up and like there's millions of dollars pouring in and my car breaks down, I'm going to spend some of that money to get my car fixed so I can keep going out there. I don't know the rules. I have no idea what I'm doing. Ultimately, it'd be cool to get like this army, right? People in every city sharing stories. And it just blows up and we just change the whole like homeless issue in the world instead of sitting back and saying how bad it is. We're actually doing something, and not just that, but getting our lives blessed, teaching our children how to truly live. That's dedication. Anyway, just want to give a shout out to my mom for helping start an amazing ministry. More than anything, I want to thank God. I'll keep doing that. And if anybody wants to get involved, send me a message. Ultimately, like I said, or I was going to say, if this ministry does anything and we get people in every city and it gets bigger and bigger and we got people around the world and we got armies and there's nothing the government can do, there's nothing anyone can do to stop us, we're going to be out there changing the world, living a life of purpose, giving back. Shoot, $20 for the average rich people like me who live up on the hill. and how much it means to all those people just down the hill from us makes me sick. I have friends with so much money, but they can't bridge that gap. I don't know what they do. Maybe they just click a button on and tithe online to church. Whatever anybody does, it's not up to me. It's not up to me to judge. And I love all my people and all people out there, and I get what people are going through. And my heart goes out to anyone and everyone. But ultimately, let's see if the ministry blows up. We create armies across the planet doing this, and we start distributing wealth that way, willingly, lovingly, coming together, bridging gaps, uniting. It'd be nice to have someone help me figure out how to make this official, make sure everything's legal and correct. And oh shoot, well, I just crossed over the line to anything I know what I'm talking about. I'm just a fool. I'm just a child. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's not fair the way I live. It's just ridiculous. My lack of responsibility, my lack of accountability. And me not facing my fears. Okay? That's what it is, folks. I'm admitting it, and I know it's true. This is about me not facing my fears. The last two people I went up to when I felt scared, I faced my fears, and it was such a blessing. God, just keep working on me, Lord. Don't give up on me. Let's work together. Use me, Lord. I'm your faithful servant. Let's do this together. Scare me, Lord. Scare me. Cut away that which doesn't belong, and add where addition is necessary. Search my heart, O Lord. Fix me from within. I just thank you for this opportunity and for using me like this. And I want to remain anonymous. I don't want people to know who I am or what I'm doing. I just want to do it. Because it's so fun. Just like when my girls and I used to serve all the time. So, oh boy, did we have fun. It's the greatest thing ever. I can't believe this stuff we would do. We were down in Mexico building houses, and man, we were scrubbing the toilets for Jesus and just loving it. Forget sports. Serve with your kids. Serve with your kids. That's number 2. Number 1 is give your kids to God. Give your kids to God. Let go. Let go of them. And let God work it. You know, they're on their own walk with Him. He has a plan for them. And if you're holding on too tight, you're probably preventing blessings from happening to them. But I'm not an expert, so don't take my word for it. I'm just a ride-share driver living in a tiny studio in an affluent area, driving a nice car that's got 300,000 miles on it and feels like the wheels are going to wobble off any day. Compared to where I live, I'm a freaking loser. And I'm fat too. Where I live, being fat is such a sin. I'm looking around this parking lot and I see people in athletic gear, and every single one of them is slim and trim. All their hair's done. They all look so good. So would you rather look great to the world and not be used by God, or be used by God in miraculous ways and nobody knows about it? How about be both? Question mark. Thanks for listening.